last year and a half and what they could possibly do to help this offense?
Two really talented players. I think Elijah is probably one of the superior athletic kids on the team. I think he's going to really help us this year in a lot of different situations, in a 2-receiver set and in a 3-receiver set. Have some high expectations of him. I'm definitely going to push him to try to reach those. I think that he has a lot of talent within himself, but we got to find a way to get it about him and find a way to do it consistently. Chad's the same way. I think Chad's young, but he's ripe and ready. I think they've all kind of been waiting for their opportunity to come around, and this spring has really demonstrated, demonstrated their abilities and how well they can, make big plays and be productive down the field and in short area with a lot of skill set that they have. So I expect them both to be, very, very good for us this year.
Hey, Bobby. Chris Carmen, Son of a Source. How different is this offense from terminology, routes, verbiage, in any ways, and what are the challenges associated with that for your group?
It's different. I think, like most of these offenses, as the young players will realize, when you play in multiple different offenses, there's a lot of similarities. I think the route structure and what you want to get done as far as the routes are very similar, but I think there is change in the verbiage. So it takes a lot of concentration to be able to kind of wipe what you've already memorized and start fresh. I think what helps them is conceptually, it's a lot of the same things we were doing. So the verbiage is different, but conceptually, as far as complete concept and understanding routes, they're very similar. So I think they're finding ways to be able to relate the old offense to the new offense until they get comfortable with changing the verbiage completely. But I think they're doing a good job.
And it seems like that's one of the biggest challenges is getting everybody lined up properly, running their correct route to the right place, and guys like Elijah's, in particular. So what are you kind of working on and talking with those guys about on an everyday basis?
It's difficult. I really feel for them having played the position and playing multiple positions within the position. You really got to spend the time. That's really the only way you can have a complete understanding about it. They really got to spend the time. They got to study. And that's difficult for them and where they're at in their lives and what they got going on with school and everything else outside. But we got to find a way to really focus when we're on the field on what we're trying to get done. And lining up is, as Coach Herm always harps on it, it's the most important thing. We don't line up. We don't got to play procedural penalties, penalties before the play that are non-competitive are things we got to eliminate. And it's just concentration, continuing to focus and study, and repetition. The more that we rep it, the better they'll get at it, and then they'll find their niche within it, and I think they'll settle down and be much more comfortable.
Hi, Bobby. Doug Howler,
Hey.
The Athletic. In regards to Elijah, you said you talked about his athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
How has that showed up in the spring? Is it his speed? Is it his leaping ability, his strength? How have you seen that this spring?
I think it's a little bit of everything. He does a great job of finding ways to separate. I think his ball skills are superior to the fact that he can catch any football. He has a big catch radius, and he's figuring out the professional part of it about studying, spending the extra time on the things that are important to you, and it's starting to translate on the field for him. I think that's the hardest thing, like for most of these kids, when they haven't played a lot in the game, it's hard for them to really put it in their mind that they have to take it serious as if they're a starter and as if they've played 2 years prior and was starting. So it's difficult to do that, but I think he continues to show up and just really work hard. I think that's a big deal too, just making sure that his effort on every play is at the max, understanding that we have guys that can rotate in, so he doesn't need to really save himself, but he can actually really push himself to the limit to get better. I think the more that he does that and he takes more live reps, the better he'll be in the game situation.
Donnie Druin, AllSunDevils.com. What do you think some of the challenges your receivers are facing without an established quarterback one heading into the spring practice?
We in our room, we focus on our room. I really never let the receivers ever really get into thinking about who's taking snaps and which guy is taking snaps at quarterback. For us, it's about being diligent and taking care of our details and handling our responsibilities. So You know, whether you're playing with, you know, a starter who started forever or a guy who just walked in, we still need to make ourselves available to the quarterback. And in order to do that, you know, we got to be diligent about the discipline, about alignment, assignment, and technique. And then at the end of the day, we need to find a way to make a play. You know, when the quarterback throws the ball, regardless of who it is, we got to have the mentality that it's our ball, and we got to attack the football. So, you know, whether it's 9 or 16 or whoever is back there, you know, we got to figure it out. You know, we got to be able to gain maximum separation, put it on film, and be consistent so when they're watching film, they can know what to expect from us.
Last year, Brian Thompson got off to a bad start because he got hurt. What can he provide that we maybe didn't see from him last season?
Brian's explosive. You know, I'm excited to get the opportunities to, you know, some of our routes this year have a lot of conversions within it where if we get press coverage and we're playing man, that, you know, Coach Glenn has done a great job of allowing us to actually win vertical down the field. And so I'm excited to see that from Brian. I think he's very twitchy at the line of scrimmage. I think he's really learning some of the technique on our press stuff that we've been working on that, you know, he didn't have in his tool belt before, that he'll be able to bring that to the game. And then just one more year older, you know, there's something to that as far as confidence, you know, being able to be patient and let the game come to you. So I really lean on him to be consistent in the room. You know, he's very studious within the room. He's very good at bringing the things that we learn in the classroom and applying them on the field. We just got to make sure that we keep him going and make sure that he's healthy and available to us.
I know it could change with the transfer portal or whatnot, but there's nobody new in your room right now. So what does that say about what these guys have to do coming back? And then maybe as part of that, is Ricky someone who's capable of being a much higher volume target, do you think?
I'll start with the last question. Ricky, I think, can definitely handle the volume. You know, I think Ricky is he's still climbing. You know, I think he's far from reaching his peak. I think a lot of it has to do with his mentality each week and how he prepares, and he does a great job at that. We're going to do a great job of moving him around. We think that he's a guy that can handle the multiple snaps and multiple positions. I think he's a physical player. I think he's mentally tough. And, you know, we'll rely on him to make a lot of plays. With that said, the rest of the room understands exactly the pressure that we're putting on them right now. For us not bringing in any transfers in the spring was really letting them know that, A, we believe in the group that we have, B, that they're going to be challenged, though, each other. They got somebody's going to have to start to step up, start to separate, and understand that if we had to play tomorrow, you know, this is all we got. You know, there's no magical men coming in here that are going to change the outlook of the offense. You know, in the receiver room, we need to be ready to go. So whether if we add 2 pieces to it or we stay the way we are, the group as a whole has to be ready to perform.
We're heading into the 3rd week of spring practice. Is there anybody that's like caught your eye that's like steadily improved from the first day out there to where we're at currently?
I would probably Badger. You know, I think that him starting in a position and taking multiple reps with the ones, not only working in a 3 receiver set with Ricky on the field and the inside, but also in some 2 receiver set stuff. I think I've really challenged him to try to be a pro in a way as we use that, but more just being very studious in the classroom and carrying himself a certain type of way. I don't think the football stuff is as important as it is to just the character things that we're trying to make sure that we push him to be great at. And like we do all our boys on the roster, you know, how you act away from football will directly correlate how you perform on the field. I truly do believe that. So not only the challenges on the field, but also off the field, just, you know, being on time, making sure you're where you need to be and, you know, carrying yourself with the, you know, the respect that you need to carry yourself with. Good? No problem, guys. Thank you.